This is episode 258 by way of the Banshee.
In this week's episode, we talk about some wild new speaker technology, new guitars from Cower and EVH, and Dave Grohl. And Epiphone, yeah, right. And also gold muffs. So...
So really hook people through on that one.
Yeah, that's right. It's pulling them in. Welcome to the tone control.
Whoa.
Yeah. I'm still trying to settle on it. It's fine.
That's okay. You'll get there.
Cut it off. It's fine. And we're back.
Yeah.
With another hot slice of toast. Yep.
Coming in strong right away with a hot slice of toast.
That's right. And yeah. Yep. That's right. Hi. Hey, Derek, how's it going?
Real Monday over here.
It's a Monday. Yeah.
Not a great day.
Yeah.
Just it's just one of those days where you're like, I'm done with this one. I need the next one. Give me a new one.
Yeah.
And I started feeling that way at like 10 a.m. So it made for a pretty long day. Yeah.
All right.
So just, things are just going. Things are going on. I'm teaching again right now. We're like in the middle of the term. So there's just like some agita that causes me, like when questions come in that are like, did you try anything? Right. Or, I think there is a thing to be said about like how to effectively ask for help.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of times I get emails from people. This is not exclusive to teaching, I guess. You get emails from people where it's like, where do you start? Like, what are you asking me?
I don't know what to say about this. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I don't know. I've thought about making a post in my course about it, but it's I don't know how to do it without sounding like really snippy. Because like getting snippy is like the thing about it. But
the phrase "gentle reminder" comes to mind.
Yeah. Last time I had to tell people, it's an early course in the system, right? It's a pretty entry level experience. And there's some quizzes in some of the weeks, and they are unlimited attempts, and they will accept your highest score. So it's like free points, right?
That's just the best you could do.
And I'm like, look, we all know this is kind of just free points, right? Right. So
did you offend somebody with that remark?
No, I didn't say that, but I was like, look, casual reminder, if you don't do well, do it again. Like you can review the materials and it'll accept your highest score with unlimited attempts. Like this is great news for if you're struggling. Like just keep trying. And what they don't know, I guess, is that I can see the timestamps on their submissions. And so you can see like people with 10 submissions, right? They tried this quiz a bunch of times. Mm-hmm. And they start out and they're like, I think it's like a 10 or 15 question like auto-graded quiz. Yeah. And the time between submissions gets shorter and shorter and shorter.
And they're going back through the whole quiz every time, right?
Yeah. And and it like pulls from a bank of like 30 or 40 questions. So it's a different generated quiz each time.
Okay.
And so it's like, well, like, yeah, you can do it again, but just like brute forcing the quiz is not learning,
Just realizing that it's consequence free and you're just like scattershot because of that.
Yeah, they're just like, just remembering which one is the answer and not what the answer is.
So their scores are going down.
The scores are like all over the place. And then like, the last one will be the highest attempt or something. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, people like,
they're finally like, good enough.
Yeah. And I'm like, look, this is not an effective learning model. Like you're not really learning, you're just guessing. So with that type of thing, I just want to be like, look, when you ask for help, especially in the field that I'm teaching, which is graphic design, there's a lot of potential solutions to any any given question. So there's, probably the same with audio engineering and guitar stuff, obviously, but like, it's like, well, what are you actually asking? This is the XY problem. I'm like on a soapbox here. I don't know what's happened to me.
It's okay. It's good.
Do you know about do you know about the XY problem? I think we've talked about it.
I think we have. I don't know if I could define it for you right now, but as soon as you start talking, I'm going to remember.
Okay. So the XY problem is like, you go, oh, I really need to achieve X. I need to complete this project, and X is a task. But it looks like in order to do X, I actually need to do Y. And then you go looking for solutions to Y instead of X. And so you start asking.
So there's like an
questions
assumption at the beginning that sends you on a different path. Okay. Yeah.
Yep. And so from there, your research and your approach to things are diverged from you're solving a question about a question, not solving the actual question.
Okay, got it.
So it's like, hey, Justin, if I'm trying to think of an example for like something that we do, it's like, what's the best Big Muff or something, right? And
we start talking about what do you need faces.
Yeah, and you're like, what do you need a Big Muff for? And I'm like, well, so it makes the other person kind of ask questions because you're like, well, this isn't really what I'd expect to hear from you or whatever it is, Mm-hmm. And then it's like, well, I want to know what to avoid when shopping for Big Muffs because I don't like them, right? It's a little bit backwards way of doing it. Right?
Okay.
So it's like, anyway, so to come up and ask for help with like, okay, well, like, first of all, what are you trying to do? Like truly.
Yeah.
And secondly, what have you tried already? Because there's a million routes to the same destination here. So
yeah.
Which one is it? Like, and we're only over email. So like, I'm not going to waste your time suggesting things you may have tried.
Yeah. Wow.
And a lot of times the question is, or the answer is, did you Google it?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that's my rant, I guess, for like 7 minutes of this show already. I'm just like, here's the thing, idiots.
I'm really into that. I participate in a few, I probably talked about this. Like tech support, like user help kind of forums and Discords and stuff. A couple of them pretty heavily. And to the extent where like we have like sort of a separate area where people who, they've given us not admin rights, but they've made us like a special role, right? Yeah. People who are helpful,
like
here,
approved supporters.
Yeah, like and we have like our own little section where we sometimes gripe about people and just chit chat and stuff.
Yeah,
and that's what it is. It's like at least 50% of the questions are like not phrased in a way where you could even answer them, and the only thing they're doing is making it clear to me that you have not RTFM.
You've not tried, right? You did not try the suggested like FAQ thing.
Yeah. Or you literally, you got this thing, you plugged it in, and it doesn't do what you expect, but you didn't read or watch any of the very helpful setup. You know what I mean? Like every company has like you don't read? Okay, here's a 3-minute video, right? They have it in whatever format. And when you haven't done that and it's like, it no work, how help,
Right.
And I'm like, what am I supposed to do with you?
Yeah, like you got to ask the right question to get the answer you want. And I'm not confident that your question is correct.
Right.
And this happens also because I'm the instructor of this course. I'm not tech support. This is a job, and I am not the help desk. Right. So it's like my Adobe Creative Cloud isn't working. And I'm like, that sucks, right? Like I can't really help you there other than give you like, did you sign out and back in? Did you turn it off and on again? Like all these stupid things.
Prepare for incoming SaaS. Like it's weird that when you typed how to get Adobe Creative Cloud working, it somehow brought you to me, Derek.
Yeah. It opened your school email. Yeah.
That's so weird that happened.
Yeah. And like, this is way different. Sometimes students email me like, I'm having a problem. and my work might be late. Okay, that's fine. Like that I need to know. And I'm happy
contact.
to
Way to go.
hopeful. Yeah, that's context and it's important. And I can maybe offer some help.
The 85th percentile just by getting this far.
Yeah, you're just like, I'm working it out. Can I get an extension? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Look, things happen.
Advocate. Yeah. Oh, that's so good.
It's that Simpsons line of "We've tried nothing and we're out of ideas." is
right.
so extremely relevant in my life all the time. Anyway, that's what's going on here, and it was just a day of that kind of like administrative detail where you're like, "Oh my God, stop asking me questions, please."
Right.
Yeah. Anyway.
No, that's good. I'm glad you had a ranty story. I have some ranty stuff too, but I am not going to talk about it because I do not know that it is cleared to air at this point. So, yes. There are times when, because as your thing is extremely anonymous, some of my stuff tends to get less anonymous, and I actually wouldn't want to without talking to other people about whether they even want this talked about. So anyway,
fair enough.
Yeah. Let's see. I didn't really nothing's new. My
how's your kid? She had COVID the last time we talked.
Oh, well, she wasn't really very sick. She had the sniffles, and I think, as I told in the story, like we tested her out of like procedure because she just wasn't sick enough to justify anything.
I think the day we recorded was when you found out she had COVID, and it was like, well, now what?
That's right. It was like just when we walked in here, she had the sniffles. She had the sniffles for like 3 days. And then we just did the thing. She was home from school all the week. Happened to be a 3-day week because it was a holiday on Monday, and then, which is right? So Monday when we recorded was actually a holiday, and then Friday they had a snow day.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So she only ended up missing 3 days of school, but she was barely sick for a couple of days, which is good. How it's tending to go for a lot of people these days. And nobody else got it. It was fine. So we're kind of all caught back up and everything. We got the new car. Our dog, Emerson, got his surgery. He did. Right. He had his little tumor on his eye removed and a couple of others on his belly while he was under. And he just this morning got his sutures out. And everything's fine, although one of the ones on his chest looks kind of open. And the tech was like, some of the scabs kind of pulled off when I took the sutures out, and it bled a little bit, but it looks fine to me. It's not a big deal. And I was like, all right, great. I mean, he's clearly not bothered. It's fine. Took him home. When I get home from picking up Aria from school, she like looked at him and he was like laying, and so she could see it. And she was like, oh, I don't know, this. And I was like, oh my God, it does look kind of, oh geez. So I sent a picture to the vet and talked to them, and it's probably fine. He's like, that's a great picture, 99%, this is fine, it's gonna be fine. I mean, be careful with him because because it still kind of looks a little open in there. I'll be using some antibiotic ointment, but.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say, that was today?
Yeah, that he got him out, yeah.
Yeah, I bet it'll be much cleaner tomorrow morning. Like he'll probably...
Right. I mean, since I talked to the vet and then I went to put like some just standard antibiotic ointment in it, like he said, just squirt it right in there. And I was like, okay. Yeah. So I do it. But then I'm sort of like, I'm touching his skin and stuff, and I can tell it's not like an open wound or anything. His skin is
he doesn't have a hole in him.
Right. But, okay. So yes, I took care of Emerson. He's not bothered by it at all. He doesn't give a shit.
That's good. Yeah.
So it's clearly nothing's too wrong. But I was a little freaked out. But
fill me with antibiotic ointment, human.
I mean, it's a dog, so they're definitely not concerned with scarring when they stitch you up. You know what I mean? Nope. So he's got kind of this gaping, like he's going to have a gaping chasm of a scar when we're all done with this. But it's like,
jeez.
Hey man, it doesn't really matter.
Chicks dig scars, so.
Especially when they're hidden beneath fur. Actually, I wonder if fur probably won't grow right out of that.
Might
part.
not grow. Yeah. Charlie. When we were in California, and our in-laws had him. My in-laws had him, and
I remember this.
He wiggled under a chain link fence and caught the top of his snout
Yeah.
And we picked him up and he was like, it was deep and like not enough because it's so shallow there. It was just like, it's not really like an open wound, but he had that scar the rest of his life.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no fur grew there.
Right. Too damaged. Anyway, well, that was my fiasco. Not really a big deal, but I was sort of freaked out for a minute until I talked to the vet. So
I would have been.
He congratulated me for not panicking. I was like, what would panicking have looked like? What would I have done? Try to staple him?
I'll probably just show up to the vet.
Yeah, well, that's true. I mean, I called on the phone and they were like, send a picture. The doctor will call you back in a little while. Or if you want, just bring him down. And, the doctor's back at 5, which was like 10 minutes from then. And
who is like, I have a weird question.
I'll send a picture.
Who or like what field or just like, who is someone that you want to hear congratulations for not panicking from? Like where on that roster is a vet,
Yeah.
I don't know. Probably doctors, things like that.
I mean, technically it's the medical.
Yeah, like police and fire, maybe, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I would like to,
I mean, is panicking ever the right move? I'm meaning like it's not exclusive with doing something useful. You know what I mean? Like,
right. Nobody's ever like, no, what the next step is to panic. Like that's
right. Panicking in this sense, it doesn't mean, and I reacted quickly. Right.
No, I think it's like the calmness, like being cool about it. Being collected. Maybe, a pilot. I would like to be told by a pilot that I did a good job not panicking.
Right. Yeah.
That I'd feel really good.
I would feel I agree. I would feel very accomplished.
Because if a pilot tells you that, chances are there was reason to panic.
Right.
Which on an airplane, there are many.
There are so many. Oh my God.
Okay.
All right.
Talk to me about gold muffs.
Okay. Hold on. Wait. I have to play. This must be punctuated with a sound.
Is this the double anniversary Big Muff pie that we're talking about?
I think it is. And I didn't have even a tab open for this because it was a non-story that I thought we'd probably joke about. But instead, here we find ourselves. Wow. Huh. I mean, look at that. Look at that.
Look at that thing. It's sold out.
No, it's all gone. Oh, never mind. Moving on.
So, okay. It says here 55 years of the Big Muff pie and 50 years of the Ram's Head circuit in a limited edition double anniversary Big Muff pie. Limited to 555 petals.
So which one is it then? Those are two different circuits, right? I know very little about fuzz and Big Muffs especially.
So, right. It's like all iterations of the circuit. And it's not like they were all, you couldn't go get a Ram's Head and a triangle and a Big Muff pie like all at the same time. Right. So like at the time, like this year it was, yeah. So it says here for the first time since the 70s, this anniversary pedal will feature the Ram's Head circuit in the big box enclosure for the Big Muff pie. So they're kind of mashing up both designs. So it sounds like a Ram's Head. It is a Ram's Head basically.
Okay.
But yeah, laser etched and stuff. Looks cool.
I don't like the big enclosure. This isn't what I want from a pedal, especially a pedal that I know has like 6 components.
Well, I had a Big Muff, the full-size one for
me too.
A while.
I was a very small boy.
And they're fun. I never got around to doing my project of turning it into a pedal board, but I wanted to get a bunch of like mini pedals and stick them to the Big Muff.
Onto the surface of it.
Yeah. So instead I just sticker bombed it and then I sold it on Reverb for $50. So like, who cares?
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a Big Muff and it's $250.
Yeah. I'm also just, gold isn't my color. If I was going to make something in ornate metal, it would be like a silver chrome kind of situation. Me personally.
Titanium, dude.
Titanium. Titanium's kind of a gray, isn't it? Sort of not that pretty a metal. Yeah.
Well, it can be anodized, I think.
Okay.
Big Muff anniversary. I'm looking up on Reverb to see if there's any. Yeah,
somebody's
so cool.
Scalping them already.
Yeah, you can get one for the low price of $1,000. Oh, here's one for $788. The price has been dropped, so that's nice.
Somebody's trying to get in first.
Ugh, fucking idiots. Anyway,
Well, that's what this sort of crap is for, isn't it? Isn't it just like
Scalping,
feed the scalpers? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's quite enough of that. Right? I mean, who gives a shit?
oh yeah, who gives a shit? It's a big.
You know
muff.
what? You know what's not going to be in the show notes? A link to this stupid fucking thing.
Just Google gold Big Muff, and that's going to take you as long as it would to open our show notes and click the link.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Next up, something else. I faded it out. All right, this is actually something interesting.
Yeah, so I've seen the chat going off about this the last few days. So this is we're kind of talking about a bunch of stuff from NAMM today. And, NAMM is, if you're not familiar, it's like a big guitar trade show, and it happens in January. And then again there's a smaller version of the show in Nashville in like July or June or something.
Yeah, split the year.
So summer and winter NAMM, but the winter one is really big. It's out in California. And it's the big time when everybody puts out new stuff. And a lot of times it's kind of like, cool, a new guitar, right? Like it's stuff that's like we've run into on the show, I think, which is why I've stopped paying as much attention to NAMM over the years, which is like there's a new special edition Telecaster, right? Or a new something that's just like, yep.
The feeling is like there's a culture of, oh wow, look at all this stuff, so that you can sort of make that, even if you don't actually have anything really interesting, you just sort of like go, ha with whatever's there, and it's NAMM, so it's going to get some press.
Right. Yep. So now enter this thing, which has been getting a lot of attention, and I think rightfully so.
Yeah. So, and apparently this isn't the first time they've been taking a look at this. So we're talking about from Eminent Technology. I'd not heard of this before, but apparently this is they'd done something in a previous year or two. But this is sort of a new version. So this that we're looking at is it is a 412 cab, apparently, in what it can do. But it is 2.5 inches thick. And so they're saying it weighs as much as about a 112.
But it offers the diaphragm area of a 412.
So I guess they're not saying it sounds like a 412, but there's diaphragm area. They're using something. I saw a word here somewhere. Well, I guess I have it in my notes. Hold on.
It's like a panel. Like what would you call it? How would you describe the picture of this thing?
To be honest, I haven't taken the time to dig into what this is. I'll just throw the picture back up. But like magnetic actuator technology, I don't actually know what that is, and unfortunately, I didn't read about it before this moment, but I wonder if I scroll down if I'm going to find an explanation. They don't really have any like blown up, like here's what it looks like on the inside kind of diagrams. But I mean, we can see the picture of the thing here. I'll zoom out so we can see what the heck is going on here. But
their website is rather Web 1.0.
Oh, I didn't even look at the official. I thought this might be better, but so this is the Model 20. So it's distinct from whatever their previous one was. I think it was smaller. So it's made in the U.S. and price tag of $2,600, which I should probably put in the show notes because that wasn't there before.
$2,600, and it's a cabinet? There's no amp?
$2,600. Yeah, it's a cab.
Okay. I mean, they won the NAMM Best in Show Award for 2023.
Yeah.
Even though it's in January of 2024.
Oh, that doesn't make sense. Did they win for their previous model last summer?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Is this the one that mostly? Is this the one that can be an FRFR as well as a regular cab?
It looks like it. So it says if you play electric guitar, acoustic guitar, keyboard, sax, or synthesizers in a band, other members will be able to hear you clearly, and listeners will not need to be directly in front of your band to get impressive sound. So they're saying it's like it disperses sound around the audience better than a traditional guitar cab.
Right. It has like a spread to the sound rather than being sort of more focused on the front of it. So, I mean, because clearly it's not using cone-shaped speakers. Whatever the membranes are that are moving air, they're not cone-shaped.
Jeez. So the Model 20 is an open back design. It looks like the back looks like pegboard, like it's perforated. And it says... Here, I'll share this link in the chat. You can pull up their very old website.
Oh, yeah, I see it now that I zoom in.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of like ports, I guess, for connections and switches and
stuff. It says it plays an octave lower and an octave higher than traditional guitar speaker cabs, which is like not a big deal for guitar.
Well, that's probably like where it would be good as an FR cab, because it's actually, those aren't really supposed to be voiced as guitar speakers, right? Mm-hmm. Because they have modeling in front of them.
Right. And I guess if you're using this for things that are not guitar, like they're saying synths and whatever else, then that's cool. It's got a little kickstand, and it weighs half of as much as a conventional cab. About as thick as a guitar case.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like a guitar, it looks like a suitcase or something. They're saying less distortion and wider sound dispersion than a traditional
There's tuning
speaker.
switches on the back for bass cut, clean, and lead sounds. For lead guitar, you may want to use the bass cut in either of the treble cut settings. Huh. Interesting. I would love to try this.
Yeah, I'm really curious about what it's going to sound like. It's probably something where you wouldn't really get it unless you're in the room, especially with that dispersion thing. But, it's just a totally different kind of thing rather than a cone-shaped membrane.
And they're also going on the site, on the website here, to say it's like a green solution because it uses considerably less material to make one of these than a 412.
All right.
I mean, yeah, because it's literally smaller, but like...
Okay, so in that case, a 112 is a green solution. Like, give me a break.
Yeah, right. I know.
It's a dumb thing to say.
I'm trying to find some stuff about... Oh my gosh. I'm trying to find some stuff about the tech that's in it, but they don't seem to be going into that just yet. But still, I mean, I think this thing is cool looking. It's got like a vintage hi-fi look. Yeah. Which I dig. But from the front, there's that photo of it with a guitar next to it. You'd never know. It looks like a regular cab.
Yeah, it's just leaned like a painting or something.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, wild and
if
expensive.
Here's the thing: like expensive, and if it doesn't sound awesome, no one's going to care.
So, and I guess when they say surface area of a 412, it doesn't mean. That doesn't mean it has any real association with a 412. You can see it's not as big as a 412.
It looks like
412 has a bunch of extra cabinet space. They're saying compared to like the circular area of speaker cones
of the sound creating surface
portion of it. Yeah. I mean, is there a membrane across the whole inside of this thing? That's what I want a picture with the grill off. I want to see what the heck this is.
I think it must, because that's how they're saying things like the surface area, the diaphragm of a 412. But nobody buys a 412 for increased diaphragm. You know what I mean? Like that's not
right.
You don't talk about it that way.
And like, how is it producing these low frequencies if it's not one big membrane? And if it is one big membrane, that means it has to be moving pretty far. Right? Because physically, to create that sound wave, it has to physically move air at some fraction of the wavelength, right?
That's a good point, yeah.
I'm very curious. Apparently, it's not easy to find just a picture of the inside of this, but maybe over the next
I'm sure. I mean, NAMM just ended like yesterday, so I think as this hits the actual market, we'll see. Yeah. But super cool.
We'll watch for some videos, people who demo it and actually, compare the sound into a microphone, but also just like what's the experience in the room. I'm curious to know. So
yeah,
real interested.
Cool. Let's
next
Next thing.
Next thing. All right.
In the notes, it says that new Cower.
The new Cower guitar. You know what? It's new guitar. Except I think this is sort of a new guitar. Like
it is, and I like this kind of new guitar. it's tricky for me when it's like, oh, so and so is now making a Les Paul, right? Or like so and so
Right.
has a S style guitar. Great.
And here we are.
And I
this
bet
is
it's the
not
best
a Les
version
Paul.
of it. No, this is not anything, and I
Yeah.
think that's what's cool. It's like an amalgamation of other ideas and designs and stuff. And it's what is it called?
The Gripen?
Gripen or Gripen?
Gripen, I'm not sure. It
Swedish for
he says
awesome.
Swedish for awesome, which is it?
I don't know.
Googling
I'm not going to bother to
intensifies.
find out. So, if you missed it, our 200th episode of the Tone Control featured Doug from Cower Guitars, and that was a really fun time. So go back and listen to that. But this thing is angular.
It is that.
gently.
It is that.
What would you call it? I'm calling it an Explorer with like some really heavy work.
It's got
done
like
to it.
here's a good angle. It's got these
Yeah.
kind of chopped off corners a little bit. I like this.
Are there?
I immediately
liking
liked it, and I posted it in Discord, and everybody hated it. But then over the next, like, what has it been, like a day and a half? You've all been
2 or
like,
3 days, yeah.
I hate that less now. And then a few hours later, it's
Yeah.
like, I almost kind of don't hate this. And I'm approaching neutral.
I hate it. I hate it less. At first, I was like, oh no. And I thought it was kind of like a NAMM special, like it wasn't going into production.
Yeah.
But it is. And I am so curious about it because this is one of those weird guitar shapes where I think it looks a lot different when it's in the playing position, kind of that horizontal position,
okay.
versus on a stand and like upright. So these photos with the strong angles like really help to translate that, I think, like that video thumbnail.
Like you think that makes it look good.
That looks cooler to me than
But this
the
one's good. Look,
initial.
this guy's triple humbuckers. I didn't even see this.
Yeah. And it's like that cool pearly white color. It's awesome. I really love. So
And
there's
two
like
knobs.
2 pieces. Right?
Why does the one with 3 pickups only have 2 knobs? This one has
fuck
3
you.
knobs. Because fuck me,
Yeah,
that's why.
Yeah. So it's like I'm looking at it as 2 shapes that are intersecting, right? One is like an arrow pointing downward towards the strap button, the bottom strap button. The other is like a trapezoid, right? Trapezoid?
An arrow and a trapezoid, huh?
Like the segment
I
of
see
the
what
body
you're
where the
saying.
pickups
Oh,
are.
yeah.
Because it's got this raised center thing like a Firebird.
Uh-huh. Right,
But-
right. So this sort
You
of
see what I mean?
triangle where the sort of pointing away from the neck. It's almost
Pointing
so the
away
through,
from the neck.
the through line of the neck right down to behind the bridge. Behind the bridge, the strap peg. There's like a that's raised up, and then it's a little inset behind that.
Right. And then it's like the inverse of that shape going the other direction, and it insects kind of like overlapping. It has like the loose structure of an Explorer, but it's been like hacked up, right? Like it's been chopped up.
Yeah. I was zooming in on this. Look at the
burned,
the burned
the
metal
tempered
effect
or whatever it is.
Yeah. I kind
I
of
love
dig that.
I love the knob
Bixby.
choice on that one.
Look at this guy. One
pickup with a Bixby.
what's those pickups called? Oh shoot.
Filtertron?
Filtertron. That's what it is. One Filtertron with it. See, I feel like he's getting away with gold here, even though I don't love gold.
Well, it's because there's gold in the green of that flake.
Yeah. All right. Let me
looks so good.
flip back.
I'm
to
liking it more. So here, look at this photo right here. Right, I'm pointing at my screen like you can see it.
this that I got
See?
here. Okay.
Yeah, the little chamfered edges that go around the body,
Right.
and they kind of fade out and come back in.
Yes.
That
Look at
is
how the chamfer
greatest.
disappears as it goes toward the neck on the top.
That is extraordinary design. Like
Every
I
detail
love
on
that
this,
detail.
I love. It's the little etchings, the little slots out of the
on the pick guard.
pick guard that we have here. That seems to be
Yeah.
common for all of the models. I want to find this one where, okay, so if we just focus on this again so we can see the whole guitar. To me, it feels almost like it's long scale or something. Like the body
Except
seems small.
It's not. It's short scale. Yeah,
right.
Well, it's Gibson scale, 24 3/4.
Right. So, but and there's something about the way it's almost like you said, Firebird-like, except the front is really the top front corner is really pulled back.
Yeah,
and that it makes it feel like the body's almost diminutive, whereas the Firebird's sort of huge, right? It's kind of it's like an Explorer.
Are big, yeah.
It's like enormous.
Explorers are big.
Yeah,
and this it's like a cubist rendition of a Firebird or Explorer.
Yeah.
And it's neck through. So it's a neck through body with wings on it like a Firebird. Mm-hmm. So that's really cool. The next bullet in the show notes is, do we like it? And I think Justin loves it. But I am still like, this is one of those guitars that, much like the Explorer, I don't know if I'm cool enough. And I don't know if getting one makes you cool or if you have to be cool before you get one. You know what I mean?
This color, this vaguely tone controls brand color one is ending up. I mean, this is the first one I saw, and it's sticking with me.
There's a lot of color options down there.
There is, and different configs pickups too, which I didn't notice. Yep. My goodness.
The Silver Burst is cool.
Look at this.
That's the one I saw first, and I remember them saying. Yeah, I remember them saying something about like having an interest in like modern aviation and stuff, and like jets and like fighter jets, and I was like, okay, like I see it, that's cool, but still, like, I don't know. But that metallic pink one is hot. I think the sparkle like highlighter pink one, that one, the white knobs on that is a look, and it's working.
I like a lot of these. The blue one's coming down is my favorite, but on the other hand, like
that one, that burgundy mist, that like light pink right there.
Yeah.
That's and it's got the anodized aluminum pickguard.
Right. The metallized pickguard here. Because that's the thing. It's not just like this guitar comes in different colors. That the thought and attention to detail that made the chamfers fade away into the neck is the same level of detail that makes them go, oh no, this one is getting a metallized pickguard.
And like Cower does this. Like there's not only do you choose a paint color when you buy a guitar from them, but you're also choosing components, right? You're choosing how many pickups, what those pickups are, other hardware stuff. Like it's not, I don't know if I'd call it
custom, but built to order a little bit.
Built to order, yeah. And you can do it up. And some of them have multiple knobs. Some of them have the mini like Jaguar switches and stuff. Great. I love the inlays too.
Oh yeah, he said something. I noticed something in the description about oh, I see it now. Because
those inlays are exclusive to this model, I think.
In the first image, why can't I zoom on this? It just keeps resizing the image on me whenever I zoom it. Okay. Well, so they're a little bit muffin shaped, aren't they?
Yeah. Are they called like a crown? It's got like the profile of a loaf of bread.
Right. Because so I first see like this image here where you can't see all the way up the neck, and they look pretty much like regular inlays. And I'm like, what does he think is so fancy about his inlays? Yeah. And then you look down where you could see the whole neck. Yeah, they turn into like. Yeah, it's the most curved part of the guitar. It's the inlay.
The roundest part of the guitar is the inlay.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know what? I like it. I'll go on record.
I'm definitely not cool enough, but I think he's done a great job.
Yeah.
And that's what it takes to get the tone control to talk about a new guitar.
Honestly, you're right, because it's something, and Cower's like got really cool guitars already. But like
that was all the scuttlebutt in the thing. Everybody was like, well, I hate this, but I love their other guitars.
Right. But like also their claim to fame is this Firebird type guitar that they do better than Gibson. And they make tons of other models too.
Yeah.
But I think most people get introduced to Cower by way of the Banshee. And, there's a lot of other great models they make. This is like a pretty severe departure. It's like certainly the most angular, and all of their other stuff is like very swoopy and curvy and cool. And so I like it.
Yep. It's great.
It's expensive, but
Well,
that's what happens.
yeah. I mean, it's not a manufactured thing.
Yeah, they're made like one or two at a time or something like that. So
the man makes a guitar.
you want to talk about another guitar?
Want to talk about another guitar? Yeah, sure. Let's do it. And I'm gonna play something. That's that Amnesia. That Amnesia pedal. You remember that?
Nope.
I don't even remember what the
I must
deal
have
is. I think
amnesia.
it's Alexander. I think there's like a delay mixed in with the reverb. It's all in one pedal or something. Anyway, whatever. Moving on.
I made a great joke and you just like plowed right over it.
I just bulldozed your shit. Sorry.
Yeah. I was like, do you remember that? I said, no, I must have amnesia. And you were like, yeah, it's got a delay or some shit. Anyway. So this is a new guitar from EVH Guitars.
The most EVH of guitars.
Which is owned by Fender, if you didn't know.
Oh, I wouldn't have guessed that.
Okay. Well, they are.
Great.
So do you know the deal with EVH and Mammoth, WVH and stuff?
I know that there is a deal. That's what I know.
Eddie Van Halen's son.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know it's his son, and people have a problem with that, or maybe they don't sometimes, and I can never fucking keep it straight.
That whole story is insane and hilarious. But yeah, so he's got his band called Mammoth WVH, and it's awesome. It's like very modern, hard rock, kind of super high polish sounding hard rock and stuff.
Yep.
He's an amazing guitarist. He's definitely got the chops, thanks in part to being the son of Eddie Van Halen. And
yeah, hopefully he
also,
just saw enough of them when he was a kiddo.
Yeah, and also does all the other instrumentation on the albums that he does.
Wow.
So he's
Nice.
got a band for live and stuff like that, but he does all the other instrumentation too, which is rad. And he sings, and he's a great singer, and he plays the fuck out of these guitars, and I seriously wonder how he does it. But anyway, this is a new sort of shreddy style guitar, but it's like a cool offset hollow body design, semi-hollow design.
Let's have
And
a
I
look.
think it's awesome. I think it's a really cool take on like what is going on.
All right.
Yeah. So it's a chambered like center block design, but it's a bolt-on neck, which is usually a combo you don't see. Mm-hmm. So I think that's really cool. It's got mahogany body and a basswood block. And I think for like this, genre of music, basswood comes up a lot. My 8-string is basswood. And
Got the
it's
weight.
just, yeah.
Density.
22 frets and compound radius 12 to 16 inches. And yeah, so it's made for rock. Like it is a rock guitar. Graphite reinforced mahogany neck. And Wolfgang designed it with EVH guitars. And it's $1,900, which I think is like pretty nice.
Yeah. That's an okay spot, right?
Yeah, I think it's a really good spot. I've never played an EVH brand guitar, but I trust it. I wouldn't turn my nose up at it at all.
Yeah. Well, you're in the price range where they're, they can be doing it properly, but they're not like Gibson custom shopping it for $5,000 or something.
Yeah. So comes in a few colors and stuff, and he's been on the road with prototypes of this. So there's been like video and photos and like, oh, is this going to be a new model or is it just one? And so here it is.
There it is.
What do we think? Do we like this one? I like it. I don't like that color, but I like.
Yeah, I don't
the
like
guitar.
any of the colors I'm seeing here. I don't know. I wouldn't reach for this one myself.
No. I like that sunburst one.
Yeah.
And there is like a flat black one as well around somewhere.
Where do I? This is all I.
Yeah.
Menu.
Go back to the homepage or something. I think there's a picture of it. The flat black. It's a flat top too, so it's like a semi-hollow, but without the arch top. Just click the big EVH logo in the corner.
All right. I was trying to find it in the menu.
There it is.
Oh, okay.
Pretty plain.
I like that a lot better. Is it got?
Okay.
Oh, he's got pics taped to the bottom of it. I see.
Yeah.
No, bring us back here. Bring us back. If I zoom in there. Yeah, that was like, was there like snake skin along the edge of this? Because I might actually go for that. But no, he just got some pics there.
Just pics. Yeah.
The snake skin, I guess, would be a little too much like the fucking Slash thing.
Too much like Slash, yeah.
Yeah. That's not the right thing. All right.
So yeah, I threw it in the notes because I was like, I think this thing looks cool. We're both throwing in guitars that like the other thinks is like kind of okay.
It's too curvy. Where's the angles? No, I like
Give
it
me
better.
those chamfers.
It is funny, like it's like a different body style, although I don't think it's like that out there, but it's I see what's sort of mechanically
not that out there.
Kind of different about this that isn't that way on a lot of guitars, and that's cool and all. It's funny how much better I like it in this black.
That is funny.
'Cause that really stood out to me. Whereas, like, I don't care for that light green, and I definitely don't care for the sunburst and gold. But this thing, black hardware, and I don't know. I kind of like this. I've always kind of liked that thing. Like, you see an SG
like
or something blacked out with black hardware. That's kind of cool. And I don't usually go for like the all, like I don't dress in all black or anything like that. But you see something like that, that works for me.
Well, it's like a statement piece a little bit.
Yeah.
Like a black
off the shelf
SG.
parts. It's the black hardware, black metallized hardware and everything. Yeah.
And something like an SG, right? That's black on black. But there's like other hints of like chrome and the little shiny bits that help it give with the contrast, especially like the multiply pickguard where there's like the thin white stripe around it.
Yeah.
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 The multiply stuff. Yeah. So yeah, man.
Sweet. Couple of, man, look at us doing guitars.
Look at us. So here's, what the other thing is that happened is people, I asked in the Discord, like, what NAMM happened? What do you want us to talk about? Because I haven't been paying too much attention. And people suggested things and I didn't write any of them down. So I know.
Somebody mentioned the gold Big Muff. That's how that got in here at the last minute.
I have one more thing. Play a sound and I'll post a link.
All right. Here we go.
Got a link going in general for you. It's the new Epiphone Dave Grohl 335.
Dave Grohl 335. Okay, loading up. Yeah. Here we go. All right.
Gibson makes these now and then. They're super limited. They're like collector models. They're not a production model. And there's been a lot of talk, like, should they do an Epiphone? And there's been some like press photos or something of Dave with an Epiphone model that's been prototyped and stuff like that. And here it is. It's the Dave Grohl DG 335 signature model. And I remember saying to myself a while back, like, boy, if they ever do that, I might seriously think about getting one because I think it's an awesome guitar, just aside from, being a person that I like. I don't really care a ton about, like, I want to get this because I'm a fan. I just think it's like, spec-wise and looks and stuff, I dig it.
Yeah.
So if you're not familiar, Dave Grohl's custom model is based off of Gibson's Trini Lopez model, which is a 335 that typically has a very long trapeze tailpiece on it, but his has a stop bar and a tune-o-matic. And the Trini Lopez is what gives us the diamond F-holes or the diamond sound holes, the split diamond inlays, and the Firebird headstock. Is it a Firebird headstock or is it the something like that?
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, there it is. That's a headstock.
That's a headstock of some kind.
This is like, I think this is a huge release. Like, this is a big deal.
Yeah. Well, and like you said, he had one from Gibson before, right? So what?
Yeah, and I think
what changes here besides some ink?
Yeah, where it's manufactured.
Right.
That's the big change. Yeah. I would love to try this. That's like my theme for tonight. I just want to try all of these things, except that Big Muff that can get out of my face.
Get the fuck out of here with your gold shit. Yeah, well, it should have been at NAMM, I guess.
Should have been. The last time I saw Foo Fighters, which was within the last year, Dave was playing a guitar like most of the night, not switching guitars. And I was like, that's cool. Like, I think that's just, he's not switching it for the hell of it. And at some point, like, I guess he was just having a hard time keeping it in tune. He's like, hang on. I'm going to get a new guitar. And everyone's like, ah, freaks out. And he just like walks
Dave
off stage.
Spoke, so you got to freak out. Yeah.
Yeah. He comes back with a different one. He's like, oh, I think I just want to get a new one. Hang on. So.
Funny guy. Well,
funny dude. I think this looks like a cool guitar, man.
Yeah, man. I'm on board. How much do they have a price yet?
I don't think so. I think some speculation is that they might be around like 1,300.
Mm-hmm.
But it's got Gibson burst buckers, which are like the good ones. So
the best
that's not
kind
nothing.
of burst bucker.
The Gibson ones. So
yeah.
It'll probably be a premium price for Epiphone, but I think this looks rad.
But you're still doing all right.
Also, the Epiphone stuff lately, insane.
Mm-hmm.
So good.
You gotta, I don't know which joke to make. Never mind. Forget it. I'm calling it off. It's done.
It's fine. We're out of here.
That's fine. Yeah. In fact,
we talked about 3 guitars.
Yeah. 3 guitars and a speaker and some other stupid thing.
A pedal.
We should put this in the notes so we don't forget. Dave Grohl guitar there.
Yeah.
Now it's in there.
Boom.
Right. So I guess it's time to do our little nonsense and thing of the week. It's time to thing of the week, which haven't I played yet? Oh, man. It's never going to stop. All right. Thing of the week. This time, Justin's bringing a YouTube channel. YouTube showed this to me a few days ago. This channel is I think, new to just me because they've been around for like
8 million people
8 years. They have 1.5 million subscribers. They have 200 videos.
I love that. Honestly, dude, one of my favorite things is discovering a YouTube channel that you like with a ton of content. A
fucking back catalog. So
I love that.
This guy, and I imagine it's kind of a team there, but I don't know. He introduces himself by name and stuff like that. But really high production value, basically narrated videos with clips, and it's about making video games. But it's not about coding, right? So it's more about the why.
About like creating challenges and puzzle design and stuff?
I mean, you name it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Series on individual topics like balancing or, feedback system, just in depth. Some things are a little more high level. Some things are really zoomed in. The videos sometimes vary in length. There's some 15 minutes, some kind of half hour, a couple of longer ones and shorter ones.
Still, I love that. This is the kind of stuff I'm watching as I like fall asleep on the couch at night.
Right. Like this is like, I take these little breaks, right? So I'm like working and I need to like recenter, clear my head. So I'll spend, a few minutes, an hour or something like this, just like without being at work. And a lot of audio mixers say that I shouldn't be doing that. But anyway, I don't care because I think it's actually works for me just fine. But
if it works for you, then that's what matters. And it's about boundaries too.
Yeah, it's just so. Anyway, I've been really enjoying this. I don't even remember what the first one it showed me was, but
How the Sims Think? Oh my God.
How the Sims Think. I actually haven't watched that one yet. I watched one today that was about camera in games. So like,
yeah, I've been very interested in that idea.
What's your perspective? And just going over, he has He has a lot of research goes into them. He'll have quotes, sometimes recorded like interview kind of quotes from game developers about their game or about something that's related to it. I think this guy gives talks and stuff like that. I think he's kind of an academic in this industry, is what the impression I've got. I'm pretty new to the channel so far, but I've been really just enjoying everything. Get in here and find a topic, find a game. This one about the economy I just watched, and he breaks everything down. Like, he's not just talking about buying and selling of goods in an RPG. The economy, other things that are economy in games is like your life bar and drops that might refill it, and how to manage that stuff to create the gameplay loops you're working on. Yesterday, there was I watched one all about stealth. And historically,
like detection systems and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Like what makes it work, how historically it came to be, and how which is one of my favorite things in games, and I find it really interesting. So yeah,
I saw some interview or something a long time ago about some game that was coming out, and they were going in depth about how difficult doorways are to create and have your character effectively go through them. And the same was true for like stairs and ladders and stuff. I think ladders specifically. You know that thing when you're like approaching a ladder in a game and your guy like kind of...
He's like, not sure, am I on it or am I not on it?
Yeah, you're like not on it, and then you go around the other side, and it like... And doorways, like there's a thing about how the door always opens out. Even if you're on the other side, it always opens away from you because of like a developmental thing in the game that if it opened in...
You'd have to get out of the way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember like, and I, from my perspective, like I'm playing pretty much exclusively like VR games. So ladders are not an issue in VR games. If you just grab it, right? So you're physically moving your body pose. But likewise with doors, some games have like actuatable handles. But even if they do or don't, the door is going to open either way, right? So I can grab it and I can pull it toward me if I want to, but you got to do this trickery, right? Because if it's the kind of game where you have a body and you're not just floating hands, then they've got to work out, is it going to collide with your body? Do you have to move back? Like, do I have to operate my thumbstick at the same time as I'm moving my hand, which actually gets kind of clumsy. You have to be it's a little bit more expert VR to like... Yeah, because you're doing something with your hand and then also be moving your left thumbstick to move your body. Right.
You're combining gross motor and fine motor skill.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So like your gross motor is pulling the door open, but your fine motor is on your thumb pulling your character back. And your brain is probably like, whoa, one at a time.
If you have enough room, you can just physically, like that's easy. I can physically step out of the way of a door, but then my room is like 9 feet by 12 feet or something like that. So I'll like quickly get a little bit close to a door. So I try not to physically move in the room. Although I'll tell you what, any of these action games, you get into like a boss fight, I will find that I have stepped across the room because I'm really good at using the stick most of the time. And then I see the projectile coming and I physically dodge it. That's when I took a step just then and didn't realize it, Yeah.
And you probably don't reset yourself. Yeah.
Right. I have a little rug on the floor. So my room's carpeted, but I have an extra rug and I stand on that. And so I can physically, I'm anchored to where I can tell I've started to step off of my rug kind of thing, which is good. Some people put a fan in one corner of the room. It's like they're
just to keep orientation.
That's a motion sickness thing actually, because it anchors you to the real world. Like you can always tell what direction the fan is coming from, even if you're turned around, right? Anyway, this is
a very smart solution.
We're getting off topic, but this is what I like about this is
part of the show is about being off topic.
It is. What I love about this channel, and I don't mind videos that are about coding. Like I'm not a coder, but I find that stuff interesting anyway. And it's like, oh, how this game was coded, and it's like some ancient thing, and how they fit it into 64 kilobytes or whatever. You know what I mean? This sort of crazy shit that was done and still gets done. This is not that at all. We're never talking about how the game code is made, but or even like, oh, and then they had to make it for PlayStation 4. You know, it's not even at that level. It's just the why of what they're doing.
And like the conceptual level of the game itself.
Right.
What is
It's
the
like,
game? Yeah.
why does this art design lend itself to this play style? Why does, in the stealth video, we're talking about like the cone of vision that NPCs have. And how accurate is that? Because it's a choice. The game developer is showing you this cone, but it's not 100% accurate in basically every example of that you can find. And the cone is actually a little different. And why do they show you certain aspects of it and not others? And like when an enemy is outside of the player's field of view, this was part of the camera one I was watching today about camera angles, action games where sometimes they zoom in close to the character and it creates this intimacy and urgency and claustrophobicness. Or if you zoom out in like a Batman game, you're trying to give this situational awareness. Now, if an enemy is outside of the player's field of view, universally, it's a good move to make the enemy AI less aggressive and almost wait, right? Because even though it is fair, players don't feel it's fair, right? And if you have a thing where every swing of the sword is a D6, right? Let's just imagine it's going to be 1 through 6. If you're scoring, if you get a bunch of 1s in a row, the player feels like that's unfair, even though that's the same chance every single time. You could get 12 1s in a row.
So, and you can get 12 6s in a row, but like they have to build in that sort of faked statistical random air quote randomness.
And they'll according to this person with all of his sources, and I believe him, like game developers will almost always shift that. So if they publish it, if they tell you this is the chance of this, like games that are card games, that have card mechanics in the game, it'll be like, this has a 95% chance of succeeding. Or this has if they publish that it's 90, it'll be like 98 for sure. Because if it says 90 and you miss, and then you miss twice, even though that's totally reasonable for the numbers, you'd be like, this game cheats, this is bullshit, right? And likewise for the bad guy, if they have a 90% chance of hitting you, you're gonna see some misses because it's probably like 80 to make you feel like it's fair,
That's interesting. Yeah, that reminds me, I don't play anymore, but I used to play a lot of Destiny and Destiny 2, and that kind of stuff comes up all the time, like in-game economies like you're talking about, like not just microtransaction-y things, but like all of the other currencies that you collect through that game, combined with like there's like a certain amount of like decryption that you do in the game. Like you collect things and then you bring them back to your social space and decode them essentially. Yeah. There is a randomness associated with that. And it's like the likelihood of getting the weapon you want with they call it the roll, with the roll you want is like, it's got this stat and this scope and this barrel. Yeah. And to get those perfect 3 is like exceedingly rare. I don't think they publish exactly what it is, but they just say like it has like a 1 in blank chance of getting this stat perk kind of thing. So that's very cool. I will certainly look this up.
And I think there are in most countries, I know in this country, there is legality if money is involved. Like if you can buy with physical money. If you can buy with actual money chances at that roll, then they have to publish the stats accurately.
Correct.
Because it's gambling technically, on some level. So, but if it's just a game, if it's a game mechanic or the bad guy hits versus, if my spell it has a 50% chance of success, it probably actually has a 60 or 70% chance so that I feel like it's fair. Or it's a very old game and back when games were hard. And there's a lot of detail in here about developers who had this problem. In Gears of War, there's something where you reload, and if your timing is perfect, you get a bonus. But there was problems because it basically meant that everyone who was good at the game was wiping out all the enemies, and everyone who was bad at the game didn't even realize they were supposed to be timing it right, and they found and it was like, so now we have a mismatch challenge, so they had to make the enemies harder, but then the people who don't realize they're hitting it, so they find this other solution where it's almost the stat bonus happens almost accidentally to the other player sometimes. It's like this
Clever.
weird thing. I forget what I know what it was. It was if you fire as a noob, you probably empty your magazine before you reload rather than reloading at the optimal time, like when you're between enemies. So they made it so the last bullet does like way more damage. And so it was like now the noobs are getting their bonus and the expert players are getting a different bonus.
It's right.
And it balances.
Reminds me of stuff from Destiny. Like there are like a gun that would have like 13 rounds in it, and 3 of them at random do like triple damage. And the only way there's an audio cue for when you shoot it and you get that lucky round. So people are...
So you only know it after you pull the trigger?
As you pull the trigger.
Yeah.
Yeah. So people you take it into PvP and they would empty it out until they would do the quick math on like, how many rounds do I have left and have I heard the sound yet? And if not, then like you run into battle with a short magazine, but the chances of those 3 killer bullets, like those 3 super high power ones.
I've got 5 rounds left and 3 of them are juicy. Yeah.
Yeah. So you could one-shot somebody. Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. All right.
Cool.
We could stop talking about this game channel now, but check it out. It's called, did I even say the name of it? Shit. It's called Game Maker's Toolkit. Game Maker's Toolkit on YouTube. Here, I'll show it again. Hopefully I did. I just feel like I forgot. Game Maker's Toolkit. Really high production value. I have rarely heard voiceover sound as good as this guy's recording.
Cool.
This guy is either an audio expert or he knows one, because this shit sounds fantastic.
That's always a treat.
Yeah.
So my thing of the week is also game centric, but it's kind of the other direction. So mine is a Kickstarter, which is, do you have a tab even?
I did. Where did I put it?
I don't know. That's everything else we talked about.
What the
Just
hell?
got it from the notes.
Good Lord, Justin. You didn't even open this yet. What an asshole. All right, hold on. Here we go.
All right, here we are. It's a Kickstarter that has since been funded, and now you can pre-order this stuff. But this is Ryoko's Guide to the Yokai Realms, a 5e tome. And this is like a little, right? This is like
that so much.
Yeah. So I'm still very new to Dungeons and Dragons after I've been playing for about a year, and still there's a lot I don't know. And our DM was like, hey, I got this thing from Kickstarter. I backed this Kickstarter campaign and I have early beta playtest material. Let's play it. And so we spent last Saturday, just a couple of days ago, building all new characters based on this new like 5e adaptable D&D campaign thing. And so it takes place kind of like in, how do I describe this? Like, it's sort of like the feudal Japan style of artwork, like mixed with like the ancient China type of thing. And there's a lot of like dragons and like Godzilla type monsters and stuff like that. And the mechanics of the game have all changed to make your
kaiju battles.
to make, to make your like proficiencies matter way more.
Okay.
Which is kind of fun. And making your skills matter way more as well. And there's
so it's
also
an adjustment on top of 5e. It's not just plain old 5e. Yeah. Cool.
Right. So there's certain things like your skills that you acquire per level are still associated with the original D&D 5th edition. Like if you're a barbarian at 3rd level, you get this. That's still true. But there's this other stuff now where it's like you can also get all these new weapons. There's new, like right here, there's new subclasses. There's new gear, like new tactical, non-weapon gear and stuff like that, as well as feats are introduced. I think that's in 5e, but feats are introduced earlier.
In 5, but yeah.
And then there's some other stuff. What was it? There's crafting.
Cool.
Yep. Crafting, like I'm going to combine this weapon with that weapon and make a new thing. Like you could craft in Fallout or something like that. Super cool.
Together weapons.
Yeah. And there's a whole like prosthesis component as well. So your character can have a prosthetic, like a magical or non-magical prosthetic that does all kinds of cool shit. Yeah. So we haven't even really played it. But because we spent the whole afternoon building characters and stuff and just like shooting the breeze.
Combo attacks. Teamwork makes the dream work once per long rest.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to diving into it. So I just wanted to mention it here because it's been really cool. It's really fun. Comes with everything you need to get started. Yeah, there's like, look at this friggin' like what is that? Like a tiger with a snake tail and like a baboon face. It's vicious.
Yeah. Yeah. Wild stuff.
New beasts and new enemies and stuff. There's all new races and classes. Yeah, dude.
Wow. Okay. Cute familiars.
Yep. A menagerie of them.
Magic
the
prosthetics.
Yeah.
There they are.
Yeah. Super cool. Yeah, like I said, I'm still mega new to D&D, but doing this and building characters like in a different space has helped my understanding of D&D to see like what transfers and what doesn't, and what's like what clicks and what doesn't. So yeah, man. I mean, like a PDF of the whole set is like $30. So you can pre-order it now right from Kickstarter.
No kidding. Oh yeah, PDF. So right, if you're okay with digital, $30.
Yeah, and because we're like, you're kind of in and out of this, the Player's Handbook and D&D Beyond a little bit. So having it on a PDF on your iPad is like totally the way to be. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's a great deal.
Super cool.
Right.
Yeah.
Love it.
Look at how much money they raised.
They raised $3.3 million.
Yeah.
They were asking for, but in fairness, they were asking for 20,000. So, you know.
Could you imagine, like, you're doing your thing and you're like bringing this product to market and you're really excited about it, and then it's like suddenly way bigger because just a lot more people want it?
Right. I mean,
the pressure that must bring.
26,000 backers. So if everybody had donated $1, they would have made their goal.
Yeah. Yeah. Crazy.
Wild. That's really cool.
Yeah, it's
I
fun.
like that. It's a good time to be kind of expanding on D&D and stuff too. So
let's get out of here.
Let's do it. What could go wrong? All right.
At this point, kind of a lot. We've had a pretty smooth experience so far.
We could really, this whole thing could be about to hit a wall. All right. Well, that's it. It's been another tone control week. And what else can we say?
We can say join the Discord.
Yeah.
Come hang out and listen to us record the show live on Monday nights. Join the Patreon if you're feeling extra generous and
if you're feeling froggy.
If you're feeling froggy.
If you're feeling froggy, join the Patreon. Throw us a buck or two a month. And what do you get for that? Just appreciation.
You get a cool Discord thing.
Yeah, your Discord name will be a different color, so that's extremely valuable.
Yep. Also, maybe there's other sort of unspoken perks that come up every now and then. That's a way to cover it, right?
Yeah, that's probably about the size of it. There are things that you're. Anyway, do it because you want to support the show, but there might be something else in it for you. I don't know.
Also, like, this is very real. The money from Patreon goes directly back into the show by way of not just like buying our .com and stuff like that, but buying gear to give away to the community. So the more patrons we have, the more cool stuff we can give away, the bigger cool stuff we can give away and all that. And our patrons this week are...
Is the music gonna start? Here it is.
Rabbi Bob, Gave Grohl, Carson Ricketts.
I seriously see Dave Grohl every time still.
Matthew Fenslaw, Ryzen Wolf, Brian Gower of the Tone Jerks podcast, Andrew Walsh of Andrew's Alcove, Sean Wright of Lollygagger Effects, Doug Gann, and Eric Garibaldi, MD.
Thanks, everybody, and I apologize for displaying mild dyslexia. It's harder in here, I promise. I can't see the name right. Okay, it's fine.
I apologize for nothing.
Yeah. All right.
See you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.